There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million.
Well, how y'all get the reopening? How y'all get the reopening? Let me hear the reopening.
The
Right.
There you go, Monique.
There you go, Monique.
Yes, Monique. Yes.
Tiffany, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask about Lil Murder because Tiara, we had John Clarence Stewart on a couple weeks ago, and we asked him about Teak, and Tiara made a comment to him like, I would have loved for Big Teak and Uncle Clifford to meet, and that didn't happen because his untimely demise. So, you know, I'm just wondering, like, how is Uncle Clifford gonna feel? How would she feel when she finds out the real deal about Big Teak and Lil Murder's, you know, situation with Teak and what led Murder to, you know, Uncle Clifford's doorstep and all that stuff? She's gonna feel away, isn't she?
How do you think she's gonna feel?
Betrayed.
Yeah, I think so. I think she would feel away.
Not betrayal. No, you're not betrayal.
Well,
He came
they
to a
both said
resolve.
to each other when y'all had that exchange in the kitchen. He did say, if I was anywhere, just know I was protected. So he kind of let you know that he was somewhere. So it's
that's
not
why I think correct, because that's why I think you again reading these comments and see how people what people think and what they got from the scene. I think people were like, oh, see, that knocked Uncle Clifford off her feet. She was like, oh, I wasn't protected when I was at the skating rink. Oh Lord. But in actuality, to me, when I remember when Lil Murder says that to Uncle Clifford, it felt like, see, I knew you was doing some shit. It felt like you was getting caught. You know, that's what that moment was more so like for me. And because the phone, you know, the hospital nurse came back on the phone and we were off hold, like that deterred the conversation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I feel like that could have been a moment. I don't know, like as Uncle Clifford, if I would be, I definitely don't think I would be feeling betrayal. I think depending on how it comes out, if there is truth and honesty to that, I think that where they are in, you know, just as a couple, it's very interesting to me because one, very seldom, I don't know when, but very seldom do you have the opportunity to see such polar opposite people and people, especially that represent the LGBTQ plus community from the Black experience in this way. You have this hyper masculinity, and then you have this ultra femininity, masculine dance that's happening over here. And how does this come together? But I feel like it is synonymous with what happens in a heterosexual relationship, a homosexual relationship, or whatever, because you do different things for people that you love.
Yes, you do.
You do different things. So, you know, even in, what was that, in 7, when there was a shock and reversal of sexual positions and roles, like to me, that is an indication of where they are in their relationship. You know, some of you who date men on this screen right here, I'm sure you have done some things for a man that you have not, that you once said that you didn't. I had a friend one time in college, she swore she ain't sucked no dick. She swore she wasn't sucking no dick. And I swear to God, it wasn't until she hit 24, she got that right one. And she was like, oh my God, Nicco, I suck dick and I like it. And I was like, yay, come on now. You know what I mean? Sometimes we all know those females and those men that need to, you know, just get knocked around a little bit, you know, like, you know, and like, oh, I'm loose. I'm a little more loose now. Okay. All right. You know, she's not so uptight. That's why her attitude was the way she was. She ain't getting up right. You know what I mean? Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying. But Uncle Clifford had her own situation too before though, too.
Exactly.
He did. Yeah. That's why it wasn't a betrayal.
But you know,
exactly.
You're right.
But I saw in the last episode Uncle Clifford coming to a resolve with Lil Murder. I think she loves it, and she would love
to be in a situation that's different from where they are right now. But what I saw and heard from Uncle Clifford is basically you're gonna do your thing anyways, and I'm gonna be all right one way or the other. And that's what I got from Uncle Clifford.
Ron, did somebody tell you that before?
Ain't nobody.
You said that like Tanisha said that to you yesterday. She told you, Ron, you're gonna do what you want to do any damn way. So I ain't gonna tell you. You all ahead anyway.
Now,
You gonna do anyway.
Look, I'm trying to keep a little anonymity here, so you know. But but yeah, I felt it though. You know, I could feel that. You know.
I think that that's true. I think that comes from when especially when you're dating a younger person. I think that comes true when the fact that he's a rapper. You know what I mean? He's a rapper, and not like someone else said this on another interview with Katori, but he's not Lil Nas Ex. He's not doing pop music. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's not doing necessarily feel good music. Lil Nas Ex has a whole slew of different types of music and songs and topics and themes that he has on his album. He goes on his own journey, but he and a Lil Murder or a Marley Santana, those are very different types of artists. I think it's a little shaking the way that all of you, and I thank you for using the appropriate pronouns when addressing Uncle Clifford, is very different from just like when the street dudes is listening to Lil Murder and it's like, wait, he what? Is he? I don't know. Is he gay? Is he pansexual? What is he? You don't know.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But there's that level of like, I still identify with him even though we different. So at the end of the day, who does it matter that you're sleeping with? Because if the flow is right over the beat, if the bars are right, it's right.
But he kind of shows it too, Murder, when women approach him, he's not really interested. He's with them because of the rapper image. He likes to show who he is and the masculinity, but he like, all right, and then go right. He don't look at their butt, you don't stare at him, he don't lust after him. So he really shows. He really shows.
I'll be over there looking at people's butts.
I'm just, when a woman walk away,
He paid Monique, Mercedes a compliment about her butt. So he is looking at their butts.
Yeah.
But that's the rapper image though,
he has. I like Lil Murder. In fact, I don't call him Lil Murder anymore. I gave him the name Murder Incorporated because he was but I do like
a little homicide.
Yeah, I think
that was cute.
Yeah, they call him Big Murder or something like that. Yeah, he didn't stepped up a notch, but I can understand where he is, and the question that we've had on the spot is, if he were to let the world know who he really is, will that harm his relationship with the rap world? And I guess the biggest question is, should he have done that first, or is it okay to get big and then come out and say who you really are? Because that's where I think the conflict between Uncle Clifford and Murder really lie.
Yeah.
She wants him to come out and be truthful, but I think with Lil Murder, he's kind of torn. He's torn between two places. Yes, I love her, but I also love what I'm doing, and I'm betwixt in between. I'm between a rock and a hard place. What do I do? So while he's pulling on your strings, what I see Uncle Clifford doing is saying, "Look, it's time for you to let this string go. You're either gonna walk or you're gonna ride. What you want?"
Okay, Ron.
Okay, right. Monique, are you paying attention? Monique, are you paying attention? Because whatever scallywag you over there dealing with, you better give some of this knowledge too. You better give. I don't want no mess. Don't be messing with my Monique now. I ain't never met her in person, but I know I feel her.
After when they was having breakfast, Clifford mentioned, I thought you choose money over love, because that was the song he had. So I'm like, is this foreshadowing that he's gonna switch up? Because he says, I don't know, I may be choosing love over money. So I don't know. He didn't say that, but he kind of insinuated that he was open, possibly.
Yeah, I think it's just so interesting that when you get we as people get to places in our lives and you achieve a level of happiness or a level of what we may have deemed at that time as success, and then you meet someone and you're like, wait, how do I incorporate you in this? I remember one time I was at the car dealership, and the person who handles, I don't know the name of the position, but that handles like the financial situation, you know, homie was talking to me and he was like, yo, you got any advice? And I was like, what kind of advice? He was like, you know, I'm 34, you know, I've been really working hard. This job is really hard. It requires a lot of time. And I've been with my girl for like 3 years now. And I really like her. I really like her. Like, she's fun. I feel like she's like my mate. And like, I want to know, like, I don't know, like, if I feel like I should spend a little bit more time at home, or maybe I should get a different position and da-da-da. And he was talking, and I was so confused because I really just wanted to be like, yo, I'm just trying to sign. What we doing? What's that? I was like, oh, you want an Uncle Clifford moment. But what I will say, it was clear to me that everybody, I don't care your age, I don't care your race, your identity, you have thoughts of how you want to incorporate people in your life and how you don't want, how you want to move. That's a part of growing, right? And sometimes you can be in your 40s and meet someone that causes you to like look at yourself and like get out of your habits and grow yourself to really be like, oh, I am on that BS. I need to like hold myself accountable or something. Or if I want something different, let me shift, you know? And I feel like that's where those two characters are. Yeah. I want to come back to the spot after the finale of P-Vaalley. I want to come back to the spot
after the finale. You would love that.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay, you don't even have to ask.
Let's make that happen.
Okay, first of all, Nicco, you don't have to ask. You But from this point on, you can come on anytime you like, okay?
Make it happen, Charlotte.
And you can bring Uncle Clifford with you. So we want
right.
Wait, at this point, we be family.
You family now. You family now. That's right. That's right. I'm saying y'all done had Gail, y'all done had John on here. Yes, so like this is a family situation. And what's interesting to me, I know that these numbers are going to grow up. I know that the subscription is going to glow up and blow up and all that stuff because the content is good. I don't even remember how I found y'all. I've been watching y'all, I think just because of who you are and your own personalities. It's you. Mo, what's the other one that you on with Lamont?
Lamont. Yes, Lamont.
I've been watching him. I've been watching Pay Away. Like yes, we really. And I'm gonna tell you, when I see y'all in person, it may be a moment because I'm used to just your head. I may not be used to the hips. I may not be like, who are you? So give me the moment and give me the context. But I mean, like for real, like, I don't know. Chanel, right?
Yes.
I think this also is kind of connected to your question of, or about like the theater. I have been doing this a long time. I've been doing this acting in the industry. I direct, I choreograph, all of these things. I've been making a living for myself in this art world for a long time. So sometimes when I get to just watch what it is doing to people, there is a level of confirmation that happens for me. I have been, I guess the way my mama raised me, my dad, I didn't have the question, I didn't have the luxury of doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like when I left Detroit, it was like, okay, bet, unless you want to be on somebody's couch, you gotta make this work. You understand what I'm saying? And I knew from like different adversities that I had as a child that I wasn't going to let that stop me. Whether it was like, oh, you're too big, oh, you're too this, you're not enough that. Like that wasn't. I was like, oh yeah, I heard that before. Move. Let me do what I do. Move. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Move. Here we go.
And you mentioned you're a choreographer. So did you get an opportunity to choreograph for any of the show or the dances on P-Vaalley?
I choreographed the birthday party, the skating party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was lit.
Yeah.
It was. Yes.
It was.
Okay.
Yes. I choreographed the skating party and a lot of like the intro of Tina Snow. Like that choreography around the pole.
Oh,
like
wow.
that's sprinkle stuff in there. But Jamaica Craft is the choreographer for our show. And also this season, my dance that Uncle Clifford does in what's that, episode 3? Yeah, episode 3, Jaquel Knight choreographed. You know, so like there are times and spaces where there's room for everyone to tell the story, but Jamaica, she holds it down, and our core girls for all of like the pole routines and all of the things. And being a choreographer, what kind of happens, I come in with her to just watch what the girls are doing in rehearsal, because as in true Uncle Clifford fashion, that's what would have happened. Like when Jamaica and I first met, I was like, I just want you to know, I treat you like my cousin, because I feel like Uncle Clifford called her cousin, was like, yo, come get these girls together in the backyard, you know, and figure this out. And then I gotta go over here and order these chicken wings and these celery sticks and all of this stuff, and work with Big L for a minute, you know. So it's a family affair because everybody has a hand in the pot. But yeah, you know, when I'm not choreographing on P-Vaalley, I'm over here at All American on the CW.
Wow.
Yes, that's another good show.
Love that show.
Yes.
And you did some choreograph with This Is Us, which is another.
Yeah, I saw that episode.
Yeah. You played what was it? A dancer.
Her dance teacher. Yeah, I played her dance teacher. I played her dance teacher. And I remember I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And I said, Nicco, why are you nervous? I was like, but this is NBC. And I was like, I heard God say, Negro, if you don't walk in here and just do this damn thing, you know. But sometimes, you know, you can talk yourself out of the things, you know.
Yes.
But I still get nervous. I still get nervous when I do these things, and that to me lets me know that I'm in the right place because I care. Because I'm not gonna ever let ego get in the way of telling the truth. So that's what the nerves mean to me.
What's your style? I mean, I did a little choreographing. I was a team, captain. So what is your style on a level of 1 to 10? Like, how strict are you with the girls?
I am very strict. I grew up, one of my mentors is George Faison, who won the Tony for creating The Wiz, the choreographer from The Wiz and all of that. So I come from a very strict, formidable military kind of world. Sometimes people dare even say, what is that? Militant, you know, but I knew that for me, that's a part of, I feel like, what people get. Cause, you know, I can give you Kiki and La 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 and all of the quote unquote, you know, the slangs of gay culture and live in that world. And I can give you all the slangs and cultures of the street because I've had all of that. And I also can speak in a room full of, you know, authors and distinguished guests and thought thinkers, you know. So listen, don't hate on your blueprint and on the journey that God got you on, because it'll get you somewhere if you do the work.
Amen.
Hey, if you do the work.
Right.
Amen.
Well, yeah, so Nicco, you can let us know, are we okay on time, or if you have to go, I don't want to overextend ourselves, you know.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just wanted to make sure we're being respectful of your time, because
I appreciate that.
You booked and busy. Okay.
I am. That's why I was sweating when I came in here, because I was ripping and running, and I was like, oh my God. But I am here. And you gotta splice this however you splice it up, Ron, in the post-production situation, because I read the credits too, you know.
But definitely we have to have the finale, because I'm just like, I'm on pins and needles. I was hoping, I'm like, please don't kill Keyshawn. Like, there's so many things, so many different ways that this can go. I'm nervous.
I want to know predictions from each of you of like one thing that you think is gonna happen.
I'm hoping grandma don't pass away.
I know, but I'm
grandmother. We need grandmother. We need grandmother.
Why? Why you need her?
Because her personality in regards to her meshing with Uncle Clifford, you know, this like that's the heart and soul of Uncle Clifford. So why lose the heart and soul of Uncle Clifford? Will we lose a part of Uncle Clifford if grandmother go? You know, that's what I think about. You know, we lose part of who we are when we lose someone special. You know, Uncle Clifford already lost her mother.
Wow.
And to lose grandmother, she lost her mother. Now to lose grandmother too, that's gonna be, oh man.
Yeah.
But if she loses grandma, that might make her more fortified in fighting for the pink, because grandma and the ancestors left her the pink. So that will be the only thing left, you know, if grandma goes. I think that would put the steel in her back, battery in her back to fight more for the pink.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I think Haley's numbers are up. That's what I think. I think.
You're right, Ron.
I think
because Mom told Uncle Clifford to get even. Don't cry, get even. So that means that
and you know what?
Clifford is getting ready to.
And even though you and Big Al had a little split, that ain't over. And I know Big Al. And you know, it's just if the pink is going,
he just came out the blue and was like, "Let me kill her." What? Oh my God, you're going crazy. You're selling drugs and now you're talking about killing people again. I thought you put this away. What's wrong with you?
What was the situation? Y'all robbed the bank. You gave some confessions at your birthday party.
Quit listening. Quit listening, Chanel. Quit listening. Quit listening. Quit listening. I think that was back in the day. That was that bank robbery situation is kind of the equivalent to, like, you know, back in the day when people used to steal the emblems off the Mercedes, the Benz, for the belt buckle. You know what
oh, that's funny.
Well, I'll go. I have a lot of anxiety about the finale. I have a lot of anxiety.
What's one thing that you think is gonna happen?
With Keyshawn, I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
It's either Derek hurt the kids.
That's what I'm scared about.
Or take them from her. She's gonna kill him, or he's gonna kill her. That's kind of.
Oh, please don't.
I'm nervous, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous for your boy, Murder. I'm
nervous for Murder too.
Yeah. The block.
Why y'all nervous for Murder?
The block is hot.
Because Maine is tripping. Maine and the crew in the situation.
And that girl, the baby mother, think that he did it. She's like, I know he did it.
Yep.
The block is hot.
Yeah, the block is hot. We nervous about that.
So Maine might have to come try to do something. Now Uncle Clifford might have to pull the strap out too now.
Come on.
Uncle Clifford might pull it out too. Come on, Murder.
Yeah.
We about to murder something.
we do know that if it comes down between Maine and Lil Murder and Uncle Clifford is around,
oh man,
go down like
it's
that.
going down.
Right.
That's gonna be conflict because Mercedes and Maine,
that's
her boo. And then Murder is Uncle Clifford's boo. And if there's beef,
oh man.
And Uncle Clifford and Mercedes tight.
Down in the valley.
So what's gonna happen is Uncle Clifford gonna ride with Mercedes, or you're not gonna let these men get in between them, are they?
Right.
Mercedes about to go out to pasture. So she got her own ride. That's the way that is. Look, I see greener grass over there on that other side. You know, Mercedes can go over and do her thing, but it's not gonna happen like that. I'm sorry. And I think even if Uncle Clifford did get rid of Maine, I still think Mercedes can get over that.
Okay. What about you, Nita and T?
For me, I think my prediction is around roulette. I think what happened in 208 or 207 with that whole scenario with that guy and her finishing him off, I'm thinking something's about to pop off.
Yes, yes, I agree. I think it's
agree
about
with
to be Murder Night Part 2, because we also seen that situation with Big Bone, and she is not feeling how Keyshawn was pushing up on Diamond. So she looked like she was getting ready to send that picture to somebody. And I think that it's going down. It's gonna be some I can't say fatalities, but I think it's definitely gonna be some casualties of people maybe that are not the direct target, like you saying with roulette. Because I think that it's not gonna be the obvious person that's gonna get their payback. I think it's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like
Casualty of war.
Somebody that's not the intended target.
Watch that sleight of hand, though. Watch that sleight of hand.
Do you guys, because I have you here, let me ask you, do you feel that whether the people that have been the characters that have been killed on the show or the show overall, how do you think has it been over sensationalized for you? What is that like? Because sometimes we can get in some shows where people are always like, dang, somebody died in every episode. Dang, and I had this one woman, she told me, she said, I just love how in P-Vaalley you guys haven't killed anyone. You're letting Black people live. You're letting us just be. And I was just like, oh Lord, I hope she keep watching.
Okay, right.
Because it does happen, right? It does happen. But I just wanted to get a sense of like maybe what somebody on here thought about that.
But I think it has its own, it's organic. It didn't feel over dramatized. When Big T, I tell you, I felt it when Big T killed.
I felt it too. I was devastated.
Yeah, we were devastated over that. Not so much to say the writers shouldn't have done it. It's just that, the whole theme that particular episode covered and the way it was covered, because it was covered so well and it was produced so well that you couldn't watch the show without feeling that moment.
Yeah.
So, even though it was Big T and we were all trying to ride with T, but when we saw it happen,
but it was also a reality.
But that's what I'm saying. It was based on what we knew about Big T and what he's gone through and what he was trying his best to get into a world that he didn't belong, or he felt he didn't belong. And
because so much had changed since he was in prison.
Right.
So no, I think it's perfect. In fact, the fact that you don't have murders all the time and can still keep an audience as you've done so, that's the big role. That's the big, hand clap, because most times everybody wants to see blood and guts. But that's not what your show is about.
Right. Because I think even with the Montavious stuff, like we knew he died, but we never even got to see that. And so I think that in that fact, like you're using the storytelling to convey something that you didn't actually see. And so I think that's very effective as well. And getting the point across.
And the true authenticity of the stripper clubs, because people always wonder what goes on. Well,
Paradise Room.
Yes. they want to know what goes on behind closed doors, right? Because for us it's a fantasy when we come in, but we don't know what goes on in everyone's lives, so giving that insight of what happens to these women and with these women, I think that's awesome.
Corbin shocked me this last episode. He surprised me.
Yeah. Corbin.
Why?
I just didn't know, because he just seemed so uppity, and those were the ones, And then when he got in the Paradise Room, he had this fetish, and I was like, should have known.
Right, from the very first time you meet him in that space. I think that
I remember that. Right? I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting because you have this person that is biracial, right? And him trying to fit in with his brothers that are fully white, and have this level of access. And then what was that? Oh my gosh, what is Uncle Clifford said something to him at the cotton field? oh, I know what I'll always be. I know what I'll never be.
Right.
You know, and I'm never gonna fit into that box that you're trying to check over there. Just like you're never gonna fit into that white box that you're trying to fit into over here. You are Black. You know, I feel like some people were. There was discussion about their relationship. Uncle Clifford and Corbin are childhood friends.
Right.
You know, I do think that like Corbin may have come over to the house, you know, and Beulah let him come over to the house and would watch him sometimes and stuff like that. But because they were both, you know, these misfits or outsiders, so to speak, in their own individual communities as kids, they kind of found ways to kind of cope and be together, you know, and develop their friendship. But I think that is just, you know, very interesting, you know, that whole fetish situation and how that's tied to, you know, slavery. And sometimes some people feel like, oh, to belong, I need to be punished, or I need to experience a level of the oppression, and let that turn me on in some kind of way. So it's a psychological thing. And I remember in the moment when Corbin walks around the pole, because the thing about it is people can miss the fact that it's not only women that are on the pole. All of these people are involved in sex work in some shape, form, or capacity. There's always this statement of being up on the auction block, which is reminiscent of the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? When Keyshawn was getting murdered, to understand what it's like for her as a woman being up on the stage, and for him when he gets on stage and raps last season, you know, and when she got into his head about that. So when I saw Corbin walk around and then just seeing all of the welts on his back, like the slaves and our ancestors that had been whipped in the plantation on the cotton field, like it just is the thing that kind of brings it all together, because that too is a level of authenticity.
Do you think a part of him, sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody off. I found it interesting to me that he has all this wealth, but he still chooses to do the hard labor of the cotton field. So do you think is by choice? I know Katori is very intentional with every detail, but do you think that's pretty much tying up into, you know, how he feels about still not necessarily being punished, but maybe a sense of connection of just doing that hard labor?
I do think it's definitely a sense of connection. I'll tell you, like just as a person and an actor, like for real in real life, when we film on the plantation, that's a real plantation. You know, that's a real cotton field. And Harriet D. Foy, who plays Patsy Woodbine, I remember one time she was like, "Get me out of here. I'm seeing ghosts. I don't want to be bothered." You know, it's like that door over there keep creaking. I don't want to be bothered. You know, there is an energy when you are actually on the soil that your people toiled, that you know that they cried, that they bled, but they also danced, that they also cried on, and made a way for you today to do this thing that you're doing. Like it, I always feel like, you know, like when Uncle Clifford goes to the plantation, it is always an event, because it is always an homage to the ancestors, you know. I feel like Uncle Clifford uses fashion to travel, to go beyond the borders of Chucalissa, because she has her grandmother, she has the pain, you know, there's who else is gonna take care of this if I go away? Like, what's gonna happen? Do I have the money and the access to it? So a lot of times, that's the way that you go and you travel. Just like the girls who used to go to the dollar store and like, I ain't got no whole bunch of money, but I'm gonna play with this blonde, honey blonde mascara, and I'm gonna put highlights in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're using the peroxide, you know what I'm saying? Just different things, you know. So yeah. I did want to say something to you guys. I want to ask this question. This is very, as I don't know how everyone on here identifies, you know, but as people, how has experiencing the show expanded what you may have thought before or not?
Look at Ron.
The LGBTQ plus community and or experiences in their relationships. How has that changed? Because you guys are using the proper pronouns for Uncle Clifford almost effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that is an indication of how, if you can see a fictitious character for who she truly is, that helps me that says to me that in life, when you encounter people, man, woman, them or they, you will be able to have a similar level of empathy and understanding, and thereby bridging some things. So I'm interested to hear from people like what this process, especially over the 2 seasons, has been like.
Okay, I gotta.
Come on, Ron.
I gotta
Go right after you, Ron.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Because this is the spot real talk. So I'm going to be as real as I could possibly be. When I first heard about P-Vaalley, long before I actually delved into it, and I can say Tiffany was probably my my wing person in terms of helping me get over what P-Vaalley actually, what I thought of P-Vaalley. I didn't really want to do the show, to be perfectly honest. And she said to me, "You got to watch it." And I'm like, I just can't watch this. But I did.
What was it that you couldn't watch? Was it because of the stripping? Was it because of the non-binary component? What was it for you initially?
Think, honestly, because I'm a heterosexual male, but I think to see 2 males coming together the way it did in P-Vaalley, I wasn't very used to. And I don't know if I understood it. So once I started watching the show and went beyond what I'm seeing and let my instincts and my emotions talk and not my brain, because see, a lot of times we imagine things to be true and we accept our outer circumstances to guide what we think. And so when I started watching it, I didn't see transsexual, non-binary, or gaiety. I saw true love. I saw love. I saw hate. I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of things that I could relate to in my heterosexuality. And so what happened to me was I couldn't stop watching it. And I felt like, oh, this is nothing what I thought. This is a show that everybody's got to see. Because what it did for me is it said to me that gender norms aren't necessarily normal.
Wow.
That there's other levels of normality that we've got to come and know. And once I started to accept that, I saw Uncle Clifford in a light that I never thought I would see. And that's just being as real as I can possibly get.
That's powerful.
Right, it is powerful.
That's powerful.
I've loved to see the growth in the heterosexual men that watch. I see them on panels and I kind of see them trying to open up, expand, and stop being in this whole this bubble, this box. And I've been seeing the growth in the men, so I've been just loving that piece. And if you just watch it, it's a great story. I think I wanted to ask you, I wanted to answer your other question about the hyper sensitivity or something. It's the sexuality. It's not really the violence. It's more the sexuality. That's what I hear a lot of people talking about. So I've been loving it.
So Nita, how then, I don't know how you identify, and you don't have to tell me, but how do you experience maybe Black heterosexual women expanding their thought the same way that they are challenging the men to do so?
Yes, I appreciate that too, because they're the same. It's the coin, the other side of the coin. So yes, right. I love seeing that as well. I think women are a little bit more open to it where men are not. So that's why I just try to focus on them. But yeah, the women, they have been, opening up and being more open and experience that growth. And so, because I call somebody out, I call them out. I'm like,
And one more thing, like we say, Ron, because me and Ron, I just want to piggyback because you were correct. Ron always, he's in my head. And then Nita just said something I wanted to say too. But it was, the whole theory of me being a heterosexual man, women on women, I'm all I'm tuned in. I put it on pause, Zoom. But you know, the whole, but like Ron said, you know, after watching, understanding, your whole perspective changes. So, you know, I commend you. You know, your talents are amazing. You know,
What it did actually, and I don't want to overtalk, but what it did for me was, you know, men are taught to be a certain way emotionally. We're not allowed to experience our true emotions. We're not allowed to love the way women are. And to be honest, what the show has done for me is it's allowed me to tap in on my feminine side, to be more emotionally accepted of the things that I didn't understand before. So that's what the show has done for me. And I think that any man that sits down with himself, not somebody else, not with a group of people, but if he sits down with himself and watches the show and be open-minded to love, or be open-minded to the emotions that we do have inside, we got them, ladies. It's just that society taught us not to use them. We've been taught to suppress. And when we do cry, some women say, well, look at that, he's a punk, he's crying. So we don't cry. We don't, but yeah, I shed tears, you know, because it is.
And then they get mad when that tear turns into a fist.
Amen. Amen.
That's why that scene with Little Murder was so powerful to me, when he came to Uncle Clifford step and said, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. When he said that, I welled up a little bit, because a lot of times, like Ron said, we don't hear men say that
at all.
It was so that moment, you know, it's definitely coming from what just happened with Big Teak, but when you rewatch this at whatever time, you know, he also is answering her text message. The last text message that she actually did send.
Yeah.
She said there's a lot going on in the world today. You know, the world is like burning or something like that. Are you okay?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Thank you for that. Yes. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And to answer your question about perspective, I think it also helps for heterosexual men to see other heterosexual men respect Uncle Clifford. You know, we see when he went to get the chitlins that grandmama asked him to get. It was like, oh, Uncle Clifford, you know, he has so much respect in that town. And I think also seeing all the sides and facets of Uncle Clifford, not just seeing this person, the physicality, they see the respect and they see different, you know, just the three-dimensional person that, you know, she is. I think that helps, you know, heterosexual men to kind of feel more comfortable.
Yes.
I agree.
I just wanted to add a little piece about just talking about how to address people, you know, in terms of the he or the she pronouns, because I struggle with that a little bit at first, because I have to reckon with like what I'm looking at versus what I'm saying. And so it's like Uncle Clifford, but it's a she, and then there's the beard, but there's also like the feminine appearance. And so I think that the show has helped me to reconcile that. And I really think that scene where Murder stepped up and told, you know, the paramedic that, you know, you refer to her as she, and he was like adamant and like standing up for that. And so I really I think that was powerful to me, because I have a friend that is transgender, and I struggle sometimes because I've known that person for so long. And so to see them for something as like who I used to know them as versus who they are now, I realized from the show like how important that is to that person to be recognized for who they want to be today.
That to me it can be synonymous to the friend that used to scam, that used to cheat, that used to, you know, wheel and deal or roll back in the day, or what's the sack chaser, and it's like, oh no, she's changed, and now she literally is she has a legitimate business. You know, she is not going back to her old quote unquote hoe ways. You know what I'm saying? And she no longer wants to be referred to by bitch. You know, like, hey bitch, you know, do you understand what I'm saying? There are things like that to me that can change. And for some people, like to say, hey bitch, what's going on? Da, da, da. Like they use that as a term of endearment, you know, like Uncle Clifford does. But for some people that can be triggering, because that can take them back to another past or another version of themselves that they have outgrown, you know? So like we all have to just respect everyone when they tell you what their truth is. Sometimes people don't tell you. Some people, they live in, you know, for whatever reason, there's a million of them, you don't need to even go into it. But if they don't tell you, but once I tell you, and then you still choose to not honor that, that doesn't mean that you don't struggle. That don't mean that you can make a mistake. I can make a mistake. I'm in the community and I can make mistakes all the time. I ask the journalist, it was a phone interview, and I asked her, I said, hey, what's going on? You know, I'm Nicco, blah, 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 blah. And she said whatever her name was. And I said, what's your pronouns? And she was like, oh my God, no one has ever asked me that. I was like, well, I mean, I'm sitting up here having a conversation with you. I can't see you. I don't know what you look like. And I don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want no smoke. You know? And I feel like that level of empathy and just listen, put it on the table. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It really is not. Everybody, like I said, is same throne, different location. And if you don't know watching this what that is, I'm talking about the damn toilet. Everybody go to the toilet. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's just everybody put their pants on one leg at a time. You know, so.
Speaking of toilets, the pink got a toilet issue. The cleanliness of the toilet.
Oh no! Talking about all the
well, y'all talk about brothers all day long, but y'all females on this Zoom here know that y'all females can be some rotten down and dirty. Gaggly waggly.
Right. I digress.
You never lied.
That is why Mercedes told her daughter, that adamant rule I have heard so many of my friends' moms say, squat, don't sit.
Man.
Yep.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
When brothers be enjoying them thighs, when you be enjoying them thighs, it's because they had them years of squatting. I'm old.
With the purse.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
All the things.
You know, I wanted to piggyback on what Tiara said about the pronouns. We have a great community in the spotters because they comment on our shows and everything. And even when we started watching P-Vaalley, we had a particular spotter reach out to us and say, you know, Uncle Clifford's pronouns is she, she and her. So they educate us too. So we learn from our spotters in our community as well.
I think like we all can learn, you know, even in full transparency, when we were doing the play, the pronouns were not she and her. Do you understand what I'm saying? The character evolved in a different way. All of the characters, that's why you can't, when people are like, oh, I want to see the play, like seeing the play is not going to give you this, you know, because it literally was, it was like the brainchild. There was this one review I remember reading. That play, I swear. Because y'all know P-Vaalley is a real place, right?
Right.
Okay. Yes, it's a real place down in Memphis. You know, it's a house. The housing development. Yes. Even Chuckalisa is a choctaw, you know, and it means abandoned house. And they have the burial grounds that are in Memphis that you can go to, you know, to pay homage to family and parts of, you know, the Native American families that have been on this ground. So that's where she kind of got it from. But I remember each character, there was a review that came out and the guy said, I can't believe that I was in this audience with predominantly older white people and they were just crying and laughing and cheering as if they knew this world. And I know that they didn't, but it was amazing that the story allowed them a level of connection. And then he went on to say, he said, there was so much going on that it almost felt like a TV show versus a play. And I know that that was probably one of the things that happened because when you watch P-Vaalley, there is no small character. Every single character, this is an ensemble show. I cannot do this show. This ain't never been, never gonna be the Nicco show, the Uncle Clifford show. That's not what this is. every artist. I can't do none of this without everybody that's up on that screen, on that stage, sweating. We do that together. When we say family, we actually really mean it. Do you understand what I mean? There's a level that sometimes it's not always present when you are working in the industry. You know, I know that in those reviews, that was something that my father wasn't able to come and see the play, but he said, you know, I read these reviews, so I read these reviews, and you know, I don't know. He said to me, my dad said to me, he said, I can tell by the way people talk about this show that it's not a joke, and that you're not a joke. And that is something I can be proud of, son. I can be proud of that. I may not know the entire world of what you're talking about, but I respect that and I can understand that. That was huge for my dad. That was huge, you know, and there's a part of what I've experienced as a person and as an artist that I do bring to this character because I know I'm not the only one. When I speak to Miss J, you know, from America's Top Model and the fashion world, there's a level of, yes, this is who you have been all of your life. But I also I've never been, what do you call it? I've never had to question who I am. I've never had to, that wasn't a thing for me, just like maybe some of you have never questioned who you are. Like, I literally came into the world this way. I came into the world as Nicco. And then it was like, oh, I can't just get up on the stage and dance. I got to learn some stuff. Okay, let me learn these steps. Oh, I can't just say I want to be on the screen and be on the screen. There's a process. Let me do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are just steps and iterations to it all. So it's a blessing.
Wow.
It's a blessing.
Well, Nicco, you have given us so much. I mean, this has been beyond, I think, what all of us expected.
Get out of here, T.
Wow.
It's the Pink Posse, baby. You know what I'm saying?
We need one of those.
That on sale somewhere.
See, Gail got these. Gail got these for us for our rap gifts, you know.
Oh,
that's
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I love her.
Look, you have merch. You guys have merch so that the Pink Posse can be by merch.
You know, I think that what should really happen, you know, if you really want merch, you should let P-Valley stars know. You should let them know.
We will do that.
Sometimes, you know, just because, you know, we on the pole, you know, we bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing around. They think sometimes that, you know, we don't need it, but I'm a little tired of seeing people on Etsy with my face for free.
Hello.
Yes.
You gotta capitalize.
They should do that. Because I was like,
we're gonna blow up the comment
Power
section.
has merch, you know, Insecure, and I got an Insecure t-shirt, like, you know.
And I think P-Valley merch would do way better than all of theirs, because, you know,
listen, real talk, I just think that people I think it is a reality. The same way that it took some of our audience to come to the show, understand, it took, I think, other people, industry people, to come to the show. When you say, oh, you're making a show about this marginalized community and these dancers, they think literally it's all going to be, oh, who wants to see a show? Oh, that's that strip show. But they gag when you're watching this show and you're like, wait, nobody stripped. Wait. Oh snap! Wait, huh? Like they hit you with the 1 2 1 2.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much more to this show than what meets the eye, and so I would happily support some P-Valley merch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me say, in our analytics, you know, of course, there are more women that watch it, but we're at 50% women, 40% men.
Yeah.
So
that's why they do well.
And that's why I'm glad to have you on the show. I'm glad to support P-Valley because of the fact they're watching our show.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We have over 500,000 views. Now our subscriptions are small, but we have over 500,000 views, which means to me, at any given point in time, you got 500,000 people watching this show. Okay?
You spot on with that, Ron.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Y'all
Yes,
gotta
sir.
understand, subscriptions are wonderful, but the views is what counts for me.
There you go.
Mhm.
There you go.
Okay.
Take that on to somebody that's starting their own YouTube channel and stuff like that over there. You understand what I'm saying, Chanel?
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Right.
it's not always about the subscription, but it's about the views.
It's all about
Hey.
I mean, so I'm just saying, like, be encouraged and keep your head to the plow, people. Let's go. Let's get it in. And let's do what we know to do. Okay?
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Into that.
I just followed you, Nico. I followed you.
Come on, bro.
All right.
Look, I got my phone on do not disturb, so it don't
Okay.
the interview. So I ain't got no notification. But I'm here for you. I will follow you back, bro.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna follow you as soon as I get off.
Yeah.
As soon as I take care of business, I'm gonna follow you myself.
Yes.
Yeah. This has been fun.
This has
has.
been
Amazing.
a ball.
Last. I mean, we cannot say, I don't think, I'm gonna sum it up for everybody, but I think you've exceeded all of our expectations.
Yes.
And on top of that, you just been a ball of energy and fun. Like you
Yes.
really bring the good vibes. So we truly, truly appreciate this. And how long you stayed with us, like we don't take that for granted. I just
We
want you to
don't.
know we don't.
We appreciate
You are
that.
welcome. You are welcome.
Can't wait to
Listen.
see you on the next show. Man.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna
Come
reach
on.
out after the finale.
Oh,
Yes. I mean that. My team
Okay.
is on board right now, so they know what it is.
Yeah.
They
Don't-
know what it
Thank
is.
you.
don't let me tell
You're
you.
welcome.
I mean to tell you, God, I can't. I'm glad y'all don't do it live because we be down there.
right. Yes, we would.
I don't know if y'all can handle it live
Uh-oh.
because sometimes, like when we're at the actual Pink, when we actually do dance sequences, like sometimes people don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. It usually takes 2 days to film a dance sequence because that's why that is another reason why everyone has doubles. I have a double, like every one of us on the pole has a body double or 2 or 3 because it is not possible for one body to do it all of those times. In addition to like, oh, wait, I just trained for the 4 months, like Gail was telling y'all, you know, like I trained for these 4 months, but I can't do that. You know, and insurance purposes, you can't do certain things because like, God forbid you get hurt, I still need to shoot you tomorrow. You need to do this other scene, you know? I had, even when I would, cause I mean, I don't wear heels in real life, you know, but so whenever I get back to filming, I have, my body goes through that change of like the cramps and the shin splints, and I'll be like, oh, you know, but I be in my own training, like, fuck that shit up. Let's go.
It gets real in those heels.
Yes, it does. You know, you know what I mean? It definitely sometimes takes that, and then, you know, I get into the Pilates of it all to get, I'll be like, oh Lord, I ain't hit this split in a long time. Okay, it's still there. It's still there. Wait, no, it's not there. I'm coming. Ooh, all right. Ooh. There you go. But yeah, it's a whole process. So when you are there, you'll be like, wow, that the vibe of Mercedes in the first dance, when you hear the sound, the music come out, and you hear her breathing, and you hear what it's really like for the women to like heave and hoe and all that stuff up on the pole.
That's real.
Yep.
It is. When we did that, sometimes when we're performing, there is no sound because we have to have it quiet for recording purposes for TV, right? The first time that Brandy got up there and did that, everybody was looking up like, like you saw their faces, and literally we had to cut that whole situation. That whole take was trashed because all of their faces were looking at, oh my God, that's what it takes. Like, you know, but with the music playing, you can't hear it. They're supposed to be like, yo, you know. And so they had to remind the background actors, and then that was a whole nother thing. And literally, there'll be times where I'm, as Uncle Clifford, I'm emceeing, and like the girls are up there. And that's why I also have to know the routines, because something can happen. And instead of one cartwheel down the pole, they do 2 because of gravity, or they were slipping, or something. You have to, and the lines are timed with that. It's all so precise. It's all so precise. So it may take a little longer, but you know, I did notice when I go to strip clubs now, I'll be like, y'all is lazy. What y'all doing?
Don't do it like
got a
the
fat
Bible.
ass.
Don't do it like the
Listen.
Bible.
It only be like 3 chicks that actually does some, tricks and stuff. But only 3, maybe only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be like, girl, you sit up there holding this pole trying to twerk that ass. I could do that shit myself. move on. Like, give me something real. Give me something real.
Yeah. I think P-Vaalley has changed everybody's perspective on the strip.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Is that right? To
So,
poll or
You
not?
spot on with that. You spot on with that.
Mhm. Well, again, we thank you and we extend you all of our love and support. We will continue to support you in all you do.
Yes.
This
Same
has
here.
been phenomenal. Thank you so much. And I know a couple of people might have to drop off soon. So I just wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to say their goodbyes and everything. And, just show you all the love that you deserve. Because like we said, this has been amazing.
It has been.
Thank
Thank you. It's been,
Yes.
I will cherish this conversation.
Me too. Me too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Cherish this one and look forward to the next one.
Okay.
That's right.
Come on, bro.
That's right.
Speak it. Now, I will say after the finale, when I come back, not if I come back, when I come back, we cannot have a conversation unless everybody has some wings. I don't care if they're vegan wings. I don't care what you got to do if you're a vegan or if you're
Turkey
pescatarian.
wing.
There you go. What I'm saying. You
Oh,
gotta
flex
have
for me.
your wings.
Can we have wings and cocktails?
Oh,
we
that
have
was great.
cocktails? We have
Okay.
cocktails as the
There we
wings, too?
go.
Ain't
Listen,
but
Oh, flex.
when you
Oh,
watch
flex.
this, wings and cocktails at the spot, baby.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a
Let's
date. It's a
Let's
date.
go.
It's
Now
a
you're
date.
talking my language. Now you're talking my
Hey.
language. Yeah.
That's
Hey,
right.
hey.
All right, y'all.
All
Good.
right,
Thank
Nicco, thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
You're welcome.
We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
And all y'all, hit that subscribe button. I swear, you spot on.
Do that. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Charlotte. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, Nico. Take it easy, bro.
You too,
Bye-bye.
bro. Be good.
Bye-bye now.